In Avatar Season 3, the pacifist protagonist had to face the world's greatest evil. Everyone around him was telling him that he should kill the Fire Lord, but this went against his pacifist ways that he maintained for the past 2 seasons. Then Energybending came to the rescue. The intentions behind this plot point were amazing. Aang was put in a crossroads. He could either sacrifice his values to save the world, or he could keep his values and sacrifice the world. He was forced to pick his poison, similar to Invincible in his own show. This is a fascinating dilemma, but Aang isn't a pessimistic character like Invincible. He's an optimistic one that finds a way to keep his morals and save the world, like Superman and Spider-Man. Aang created a third path by learning energy bending, which allowed him to prevent the Fire Lord from causing any more harm without killing him. Genius. The problem is the actual execution. When Aang was training and figuring out how to stop Ozai, he had no other solution than to kill him. When he was out of option, he swam to the sea and ended up on a lion turtle. The spirit tapped his forehead and chest, and something magical happened. When Aang faced Ozai in the final fight of the show, Aang revealed his new ability, energy bending. It allowed him to take away other people's bending by touching the same points as the lion turtle, who taught him the move. The issue with this execution is how convenient it is. Just looking at Season 3, there are 21 episodes total. The episode with the moral dilemma and lion turtle was episode 19. This means that right after Aang had his dilemma, a new power that conveniently solved his problem was introduced. Furthermore, it was introduced 3 episodes before it was used. Convenience is generally bad writing because it breaks the audience's suspension of disbelief. It feels like the writer is breaking into the story and handing the character a solution. We didn't even know what it did until he actually used it in the story. The ability wasn't rooted in any kind of bending that made sense before. It was just its own thing. The problem becomes worse when you zoom out to all 3 seasons. The show is 61 episodes long. Aang has been a pacifist since the start, so creating a third path for him to take should have been set up way ahead of time if the story was planned out properly. The most obvious solution is to introduce energy bending earlier. You could potentially have an energy bender in Season 3 Episode 1. The problem is that it removes the mystery of Aang's dilemma. Let's say Aang never saw the energy bender. The audience still knows it's possible, so they aren't feeling Aang's stress when he's pondering what to do. You could mitigate this by introducing the energy bender back in Season 1 in a subtle scene so that only the dedicated fans would remember this solution. But I think I can do better. I would disguise the solution and make Aang do some problem solving to reach the solution. For example, I would have a character that could energy bend in Season 1, like I suggested, but the way this character bended allowed them to give non-benders the ability to bend. Then, Aang would not only have to learn this technique, but use his creativity to reverse the process to remove bending. Using the implicit rule that something that can go forward can also go backward would allow writers to hide the solution of removing Ozai's bending without breaking the suspension of disbelief. This would allow Aang's third path to be surprising, but properly set up ahead of time. It would make sense why no one else suggested stealing Ozai's bending. This would eliminate the plot convenience that was energy bending.